Devotional, Monday 11th of January. Do you remember the name Copernicus? Well, he rattled the world in 1543. Up to that point, the world was ticking along quite nicely. That is until he announced that the sun and not the earth was the centre of the solar system. Ptolemy had convinced the world otherwise, and for 1400 years we believed we were the centre of activity. It was an enviable position. Fathers could point to the night sky, put their arms around the shoulder of their child and proclaim, "We are in the middle of it all." Not only were we in the middle of it all, we were the anchor of it all. Ptolemy envisioned a motionless earth, a rock of stability. We are the centre of the universe and we are the anchor of the universe. But then along came Copernicus with his maps and his drawings. He taps us on our collective shoulders. He clears his throat and says, "Excuse me, I'm very sorry to be the one to break the news, but the centre of our solar system is out there." And lifting a finger, he points towards the brightest star, the sun. The announcement was not well received, and it still isn't. We still like to think that the universe revolves around us, and we don't like to be told otherwise. But isn't this the message of the Bible? Doesn't God do what Copernicus did? Tapping the collective shoulder of humanity, he points to the sun and says, "Behold, the centre of it all." Let me read from Ephesians chapter 1, verses 20 and 21 from the Message paraphrase. "God raised him, that is Christ, from death, and set him on a throne in deep heaven, in charge of running the universe, everything from galaxies to governments, no name and no power exempt from his rule. And not just for the time being, but forever. He is in charge of it all, has the final word in everything. At the centre of all of this, Christ rules the church." You see, on the one hand, this news brings great relief. Since you're no longer the centre of the universe, you no longer feel the weight of the world on your shoulders. But on the other hand, the transition from self-centred to Christ-centred is the toughest challenge we ever face. There's a bit of Ptolemy in all of us. If Christ is the centre, everything changes. No longer do you live to serve you, you live to serve him. You strive not to fulfill your will, but his. No longer do you demand your way, but you seek his way. Your aim is not your pleasure, but his honour. You are no longer the master of your domain, God is. Your first question is not, "What do I want to do today?" but rather, "What is God doing and how can I be part of it?" It's not about you and me, but it is about him. Talk about a Copernican shift, yet talk about a necessary shift. To become a Christian means to confess and celebrate God as the star and assume our place as loved yet lesser orbs in his plan. The result is masterful. We hear less of, "Here is what I want," and more of, "What do you suppose God wants?" Career and business become platforms for God's name, not ours. And our bodies, no longer do we say, "Well, it's my body. I can eat what I want, inhale what I want, sleep with whomever I want." But rather we realize our bodies are on loan from God. How then can we use them to honour him? Call it a Copernican shift from self-centred to God-centred, from self-promotion to God-promotion. The change wasn't easy for Copernicus. Even the church gave him grief over his discovery. And the change isn't easy for you and me, but it's worth it to discover your place in the universe with Christ at the centre.